for this question, for the following reaction, and then it's got a reaction, it gives us a delta G standard value, and we've got where you put in two different pressures for your gases. So you got some partial pressure for one gas, partial pressure for your other gas, and we can ask which way does the reaction proceed. So left or right, spontaneous or non-spontaneous. There is a second way to do this problem. So the other way to do this problem, so there is, as you might guess, there was a first way, so there's another video on this. The other thing you can do is once you've realized that which way does this proceed, that's going to involve Q. You could say, okay, well, I know it's going to involve Q, so I could go ahead and actually look at what Q is going to be. So I could go ahead and put my products over my reactants. So my pressure of my N2O4 divided by the pressure of my NO2, this is going to be L squared. Once I plug in my pressures, my 0.6 divided by 0.25 squared, I get a Q value about 9.6. So now, in order to just figure out which way the reaction proceeds, the other thing I really need is I need to do a K versus Q in order to figure this out. So from what I'm given, I could actually solve for K from my delta G standard. So if we take a different equation and we look at my delta G standard equals negative RT ln K, I can then take the value from the question, my negative 5.40 kilojoules, and I can just start to plug things in. And I'm going to be solving this time for K. So I've got 8.314, this is joules, so I'm going to have a problem here with these units, so I'm going to have to make those match. This is at 298 Kelvin, and again, we're just going to keep my natural log of K for right now. So I can go ahead to solve for this. I'll go ahead and change my units so that all of my units are in the same factor. So everything now is in joules, 298 natural log of K. I'm going to divide both sides. 2.7. I'm going to hold on to some extra values. So I get 2.17955 equals the natural log of K. Now I've got to get rid of that natural log. So in order to do that, I'm going to raise everything e to the 2.17955 power. That is the reverse of a natural log. So just like we had a way to reverse a logarithm when we were doing pH, we've got a way to reverse the natural log. The other thing you guys can see is that this on your calculator is that if this is my natural log button, the thing right above it in really tiny handwriting is that e to the x. So those opposites are held together for you rather easily. Then, once I have this, then it's just plugging in my numbers. So I can plug that into my calculator, and I'm going to get a K value of 8.84. So now I've got Q versus K. I've got a Q value of 9.6, I have a K value of 8.84, and what you can see is since my Q value is greater than K, or K is less than Q, this should proceed to the left, which means it's going to be non-spontaneous.